This has massive implications for the Dodgers. The Dodgers, once again, have been hit by the injury bug. I'm here to talk about that. Also, a questionable decision from Dave Roberts in today's game against the St. Louis Cardinals. We get into all that in this edition of Dodgers Digest. Hey, this is Mike Nelson. Hopefully, you're having a good Saturday out there. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. I want to thank everybody who's already hit that subscribe button here on Dodgers Digest. But let's get into the latest report here, the latest, of course, news when it comes to the Dodgers and all the injuries that they've been having. And that's, of course, Tony Gonsolin is now going to the injured list. He will be heading to the 15-day IL. He's experiencing right elbow discomfort. This is really bad news, to say the least, for the Dodgers and Gonsolin, because Gonsolin, is now the 8th starting pitcher to go on the injured list for the Dodgers just in this 2025 season, and it's only June 7th. Let that sink in. The Dodgers have had just the most injuries out of all 30 Major League Baseball clubs. The Dodgers have had the most injuries when it comes to their pitchers, and it's, pretty crazy. Think about it. They're still in first place. Barely hanging on, but, sole possession still at this moment of first place. We'll see what happens later today with the Padres taking on the Brewers later tonight. They can, of course, win and be tied with the Dodgers, but the Dodgers just cannot get a break when it comes to these injuries. It just continues to pile up, and eventually it's going to really cost this team. And, it's a frustrating time if you're the Dodgers, if you're a Dodger fan. Tony Gonsolin, all our best goes to Tony. This guy, worked really hard to come back, and now he's hurt again. This guy just got elbow surgery and, missed, almost 2 years, and now, he's hurt in the same elbow, right elbow, having pain. And we kind of now look back on the last few starts for Tony Gonsolin, how he wasn't really the same, how the velocity was down a couple miles an hour, and now we kind of understand why. It seems like he was already starting to have discomfort on that elbow even prior to today when the Dodgers decided to put him on the injured list. A couple guys, of course, came off the list. One of those guys, Michael Kopech, coming off the injured list today, and also Kirby Yates. But I think this is a huge injury, right? Tony Gonsolin was a starting pitcher for the Dodgers the last few weeks, who's been picking up a lot of innings, even though, he hasn't been obviously great. He's been average to bad when it comes to his starts, especially the last couple ones, but he's still been eating up a lot of innings, and now that's gone for at least a couple weeks, and who knows for how much longer. And these are very important weeks here for the Dodgers. They're going to close tomorrow. They got to try to avoid the sweep out there in St. Louis after losing the first 2 games against the Cardinals. And then starting Monday night, they got to go to San Diego and play 3 games against a team that could potentially be in first place or tied with the Dodgers for first place come Monday night. So this is a huge week for the Dodgers. 3 at San Diego. Then they got to come home and play 3 against the Giants and 3 against San Diego again. So that's 6 games against the Padres the next couple weeks. I'm not sure if it's a 6 or 7. I can't remember if it's a 3 or 4 game set against San Diego. You guys out there in the comments will correct me. But a lot of games coming up for the Dodgers against very good opponents. The Cardinals are no pushover. They've been pretty good. We've been seeing how good their pitching has been these first 2 games out there in St. Louis. The Dodgers have only scored 1 run in 18 innings. And the way they scored today's run was kind of obviously on a strikeout. Freddie Freeman strikes out. Ohtani goes home on a wild pitch. Their offense has been completely shut down. But going back to the Tony Gonsolin injury, this guy had Tommy John surgery in August of 23, an all-star 3 years ago. He's had a 5.0 ERA in 7 starts this year. It hasn't been good. Gonsolin probably is not healthy, right? I think this confirms that maybe Tony Gonsolin was 100. I don't know. Was Tony Gonsolin ever 100%? Think about it. If he was out for if he was out for over a year, 2 years, and then he comes back and he only pitches, 7 games, and he's on the IL again, was this guy ever really healthy? I think we have to question the Dodgers' decision-making here. Was Tony Gonsolin really ever 100% if he got hurt this fast again? I mean, I just can't buy it. I don't buy it. I think Tony Gonsolin was kind of rushed back because of all, obviously necessity. Brought him back because of the injuries to Snell and Glasnow, especially the Blake Snell injury was huge. He's been out for over 2 months now. And they brought him back, and Gonsolin was not 100%. What about Dustin May? Dustin May's still not on the IL yet, but is he also having problems too? I mean, this is obviously bad news for the Dodgers. Too many injuries. I mean, they're using up the bullpen like crazy. And it's a really unfortunate situation for the Dodgers and Tony Gonsolin. You think about it, he was out for a long time. He's trying to fight back to come back, and he gets hurt right away. And then today was an absolutely difficult day for the Dodgers. Oh, yeah, and then, of course, I wanted to mention also, like I mentioned at the top of the video, Kirby Yates came back from the 15-day IL, and, of course, Michael Kopech comes back from the 60-day IL. Hasn't played yet this year. Hopefully he gets to play in the next couple weeks. And Chris Stratton was designated for assignment after these corresponding moves. No surprise there. Stratton was, of course, just a short-term fix. But, yeah, I mean, the Dodgers it's not looking good when it comes to injuries. And today was obviously a really rough day. A 2-1 loss out there in St. Louis. The Dodgers did get, 9 hits. And, wasn't like they were completely shut down. But their offense was not good enough, right? I mean, only scoring 1 run in the 18 innings here in this series. That's just not going to cut it. It's just not going to cut it if you're the Dodgers. And today was, obviously a rough day to say the least when it comes to, hitting with runners in scoring position. And today, Yamamoto had a pretty solid start, right? It wasn't like he was bad today. He had a pretty solid start. 9 strikeouts. He went 6 innings. He gave up 4 hits. It was a pretty solid start for Yamamoto, but unfortunately, it was all ruined with Ben Kasparias. It was not a good outing at all for Ben Kasparias, and the big decision by Dave Roberts. I mean, Kasparias had the wild throw in the 8th inning that, of course, gave the Cardinals the 1-0 lead. On that play, Kasparias just cannot throw it to first base, right? He had no chance of getting the runner. It was an aggressive play by Ben Kasparias, and of course, it led to the Cardinals taking the 1-0 lead on a bad throw by Kasparias. But why did Dave Roberts decide to bring Kasparias out for the 9th inning? I mean, if Kasparias struggled in the 8th inning, why was he brought out again for the 9th inning? I mean, I think we have to question Dave Roberts on that decision. I know the Dodgers are really shorthanded when it comes to their bullpen, but why bring out a pitcher out for the 9th inning after he just gave up a run in the 8th? I mean, it wasn't like Kasparias cruised through that 8th inning. I mean, it doesn't make any sense. And then Kasparias comes in and has an absolutely disastrous 9th inning, and they lose the game. I mean, it just does not make any sense whatsoever why Dave Roberts would make that decision. And this is obviously a frustrating loss for the Dodgers. The Dodgers could have easily, think about it, the Dodgers could have easily have lost 6 games this week, right? They came back in extraordinary fashion on Tuesday night and came back in extraordinary fashion on Thursday afternoon. But they could have easily have lost all 4 games against the Mets, and they, of course, now lost the first 2 games against the Cardinals. And they lost last Sunday against the Yankees, too. So this team could have easily have lost the last 7 games. It's been that kind of week for the Dodgers, and it's very concerning. Tonight, got to hope the Brewers win so the Dodgers stay in first. I believe the Giants game is now final. I think the Braves held on and won. But just hope, hopefully the Dodgers could turn around and avoid the sweep tomorrow afternoon out in St. Louis. As always, let's go Dodgers, and make sure to subscribe.